Hi, Jim Fuchs with the St. Louis Fed. Appreciate your presentation. One of the themes, and you highlighted here was, and you said it, Hannah, relationships, 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 and we've heard that across a lot of elements of the conference today. I'd love to hear your views, and then maybe Leanne's as well. On one of the questions is, how do you put a value on those relationships, right? So based on, and I know you touched upon it a little bit, but would just love to hear your thinking, since that seems to be a question that has just kind of surfaced throughout the day, and it's something that obviously drew your attention as well.
I mean, if I can answer quick, if you're looking for a number, I don't think you're going to get one.
Yeah.
And if you did get one, I don't think it would be very meaningful. Like, we could say, like, oh, this customer has a net value of $2 million, but what does that really mean? I don't think that's really telling you anything about a relationship. I think a relationship is an immaterial thing. I don't think it's something you can really quantify. Unfortunately, for all the researchers in this room, I'm sure you can try. I'm sure we can get closer and closer, but at the end of the day, I think it is a very personal thing that's just hard to measure quantitatively. That's what you're looking for.
I had a conversation with someone at CNN Bank. I can't remember which executive it was there. In one of the prior year competitions where he talked about the Net Promoter Score as a way to quantify that value of relationships. But personally, I'm not sure how effective that is. I can't really speak much on that. But I think that would be my answer, is that a lot of banks, I think, use like some sort of statistical like survey, and then use the results from surveys to kind of quantify how those relationships are impacting.
We do a lot of customer experience surveys, and I guess the Net Promoter Score, the survey in general definitely gives you some value of what your customers look like in that relationship. But I really think the true testament of a value of a relationship comes in the hard times. So, when things go awry, how much deposits do you retain? How many customers reach out to you rather than going to another bank? And I think that is really, truth be told, in the community banking sector, because community banks, they know their customers. They're not scrambling. So they're actually, having a proactive list and a proactive touch points. And the more you do before that time, the better off you are, I believe.
I think if I may add, to me, what my takeaway from Mary Willis was that, during hard time, when they reached out to their clients, as opposed to worrying about withdrawing deposits, they asked, what is it that I can do? What can I put more money in the bank? So that, to me, that's recognizing the value of the relationship.
Hi, I'm Susanna Barnett with CSBS, and I thank you all for participating in this competition, and congratulations on winning, because I know it's always tough. But I was really struck by a couple of things, and one of those is that, Eric, you said before this, you always thought of banks as just being a bank, right? And you've learned something else. And Leanne, you said that you were really struck when one of the students came in and it was the first time that person had gone into a bank branch. So I was wondering if Hannah and Eric could talk about how this might have changed your relationships with banking. And since you have a room full of community bankers here, how can they reach other people your age and establish that relationship banking? And I realize that wasn't the focus of the questions we asked you, but I just think it's a great opportunity since we have you here.
I think it's a good question. I think that this competition definitely has changed my perspective on banking. Thinking back to when I started this whole thing, I never thought that I would be sitting here today. It definitely changed my perspective on community banks. I kind of like Eric, I really didn't ever see a difference. I didn't even realize that there was a difference between like a big bank and a community bank. I didn't see that difference. My personal bank is a community bank, but that is kind of by accident. When I opened that bank account, I didn't realize it was a community bank. And so I think that when talking about how to reach the younger generations, I think that really the social media aspect is important. Learning how to manage that reputational risk and learning how to target the younger generations through social media and technology is really important. And I think that even considering some of the more popular platforms that might be unconventional for a business to have, like TikTok or things like that, would be a more effective way of reaching people who are our age.
For my part, you asked about changing perspectives. I'll say one thing this competition did. It made me hate my bank, which is not a community bank. Oh no, I already hate them. Made me hate them a little bit more. I'm in the market for a new bank, Leanne. Let's talk later. As far as what you could do, this might be a personal bias because I'm speaking from my experience and how I got my current bank, but I think targeting the parents is a big thing because I got my current bank because it was my father's bank. So my first account was a joint account at that bank. And now they're still my bank because I have my account there. Why would I change? I have problems with them every time I go to them. Why would I change? Such a hassle. But I think it's one of those situations where you really have to get your foot in the door while they're young, because no kid is going to care about the differences between banks. They just want a place to put their McDonald's paycheck. That's it. So it is something that you have to get them while they're young, and to get them while they're young, I think you need to go through the parents and convince the parents, like, hey, you should open your account here. This is a great bank. And hey, don't open your account here. This is terrible. I wish I was told that. Well, what are you going to do?
Well, with that, could you join me in thanking our 2024 case study winners?